Hi, my name is Adela Baez, and I'm going to be talking about homelessness in America. Did you know that 500,000 people are homeless, and a quarter of those are children? Homelessness is a real issue in our country, and there are not enough organizations helping this cause. From a young age, we see a lot of people in the streets, and we don't understand why or what happened to them. So let's talk about the definition of homelessness. According to the National Healthcare for the Homeless Council, founded by the U.S. Department of Health Insurance and Human Services, a homeless person is an individual without permanent housing who may live on the streets, stay in a shelter, mission, single-room occupancy facilities, abandoned building or vehicle, or in any other stable or non-permanent situation. Three of the causes of homelessness are poverty, domestic violence, and addiction disorders. Homeless and poverty are completely linked. People who are poor are frequently unable to pay for housing, food, childcare, healthcare, or education. In 2000, 11.3% of the United States population lived in poverty. For 40% of these people living in poverty are children. Domestic violence is the second leading cause of homelessness among women. Battered women who lived in poverty are often forced to choose between abusive relationships or homelessness. Nationally, approximately half of all women and children experiencing homelessness are fleeing domestic violence. Addiction disorders and homelessness and the relationship between these two is a little bit controversial. While rates of alcohol and drug abuse are high among the homeless community, the increase in homelessness over the past 2 decades cannot be explained by addiction alone. Many people who are addicted to alcohol or drugs never become homeless, but people who are poor and addicted are clearly increased at risk of homelessness. In the absence of appropriate treatment, addictions may doom one's chances of getting housed on the streets. Now that we talk about what is homelessness, let's talk about the impact that it causes. As I said before, many of these people that are living on the streets can't afford an education, and this leads to a lot of people being on the streets, a lot of children not getting the right amount of education that they need, and these youth tend to engage in delinquent survival strategies on the street, such as selling drugs, shoplifting, prostitution, robbery, or burglary. A study in Canada by Aaron Smith of 2008 called the Canadian Journal of Criminology and Criminal stated that the longer unaccompanied youth experience homelessness, the higher the probability of committing a crime. And further, homelessness and the lack of financial assistance from the state creates the likelihood of a youth being involved in a violent crime. Another one of the impacts that creates homelessness is the lack of affordable healthcare. For families or individuals struggling to pay rent, or a serious illness or disability can be a really struggle in the moment. They can lose their job or the pleading of savings to pay for care, and eventually an eviction. Nearly a third of persons living in poverty had no health insurance of any kind. Lastly, I want to talk about one of the organizations that is dedicated to help resolve this problem. The organization is called Camila's House, and their mission is to provide hospitality and respect for life through direct services of food, clothing, shelter, addiction counseling, job training, and healthcare to the poor and homeless of South Florida. This is a community that was founded in 1960. Camila's House is one of the oldest and largest continuously operated charities in South Florida. It is founded by the Little Brothers of the Good Shepherd, and it addresses the most obvious aspect of homelessness, that is, provides individuals and families with a place to live. This organization not only gives shelter. They help you recover from homelessness. They have a permanent facility or emergency transitional houses, depending on the stage of which the person is. This organization is one of the few that not only help them have a place to stay for a night, it helped them through their process of recovering from homelessness. In conclusion, people need to be a little bit more aware of the problem of homelessness and the problems that is causing in our society, because it's not something that cannot affect us at all. It can affect anyone, and it can be the person that you thought would never be homeless can lose everything and just live in the streets. So I want to leave you guys with a little quote that I learned from when I was younger, and it helped me understand what they were trying to say. This quote is: give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. Thank you.